Hey, Marc Warnke here, PackGoats.com. This is the featured goat video, and this is Buster. And you guys have seen Buster. He can be a little Jekyll and Hyde. He's actually the first baby I ever pulled out of a goat, so that's kind of cool. He was the famous Raven's son. And to give you like a little bit of interesting information, I actually sold him because I wasn't super happy with how he was built as like a 6 or 7 month old. Now it wasn't like that's not the reason I sold him. I had to sell one of the babies because I had too many. And so I decided to sell him. And his owner said, hey, we're downscaling our goats. And that was like 2 years later. And I said, okay. And I go, well, send me a picture of Buster. And he sent me a picture and he looked beautiful. So he's not built exactly like I want goats to build, but he looked bad as a baby and he really developed nicely as he grew. So that's kind of an example to you. You never know what you got till you got, so let him grow up. And then the other thing is, and this goat weighs 230 pounds. He's on my A team. He's towards the back of my A team, but he's definitely one of my A team or go-to goats. His breeding is he's half Alpine. He's got a bunch in him. It was before I really know what I was doing when I bred him. But he's got half Alpine. He's got some Sanan in him. He even has just a touch of Boer in him and a little bit of Nubian. No Boer, but some Nubian. And so he's 7 now. And he's a solid A-teamer. He's a good goat. Got a piece of grass on you, buddy. There we go. Anyway, the other thing about him, he's the goat that with the Goat Club membership. And the Goat Club membership is a thing that you can belong to where you watch me raise my goats, troubleshoot goats, solve problems, feeding, structure, all that different stuff. The super in-depth stuff that if you want to raise goats well, by watching me raise goats on a daily basis, you'll learn from. But on the Goat Club membership, he is one who had a really severe eye injury. He got hit in the trailer by another horn or something, and it literally dented his eyeball. So it was dented in, and the whole thing was like bloody and nasty. In fact, I'll have Shea put a picture of his eyeball and how I fixed it on the video. And but his eyeball was nasty looking. And if you can come in, Shea, and kind of look now, it's his left eye. You'll see that he has a little white spot in there. It's his left eye, so it's this one. So, but you'll actually see he has a little spot in there, a little cloudy spot in his left eye. And that's from his eye repairing. And then now he's got a permanent damage on the surface of the lens. Now the thing is though that you can always tell whether a goat can see or not by coming in from the side, and then you can see he reacts to it, right? So he reacts to my hand, and so that means he can see out that eye actually quite well. He's tired of me messing with him. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. And anyway, so we repaired an eye injury with him. In fact, he's had his eye injured twice. The first time he hurt it really bad, and the vet helped us with that one, and he had to sew his eyelid shut over his eye to keep it nice and moist, and then we put antibiotics, a liquid penicillin in the eye, in the eye cream, and it helped a ton. And then she sewed his eyelid over the top, and it healed, and then like 2 weeks later unsewed it, and he was all better. I'm gonna let him go. And then I think because he couldn't see really well at that eye is why about a year later he hurt it again. And so we thought maybe that time he was gonna go blind, but he didn't. He still got vision out of that eye, which gives him depth perception and everything else. And you know, he's a really great goat. He's done super good, and he's a good packer, and he's a beautiful goat. The one side with him, you see how his hackles are up right now? So remember, this is a sign of goat aggression. This is when a goat is getting aggressive, when they put their hackles up. He is constantly reasserting himself as a dominant goat in our string. And by the way, Noah's doing it as well. The reason these guys are doing this is because Merciless is beginning to fall down the hierarchy chain, and goats like Noah and Buster are starting to step into the hierarchy chain. And Buster has turned into a super bully. I have to watch him in the trailer. He'll blast goats out of nowhere. On the trail, he's hooking goats if they're trying to go past. Buster is a goat that I actually have to watch because he's aggressive towards other goats. And that's goat world. So anyway, that's Buster. Buster's a good goat to have in the string. He has meaning to me in terms of kind of my walk with goats. And I'm really glad he came back into our herd because he's just a neat guy. And their scouting is, again, bothering the camera person. That's what he thinks his job is to do. So I hope you find that helpful. My name is Marc Warnke. They call me the Goat Guy. If you need help with goats, become a Goat Club member, get some courses. We have tons of gear and information on the site, tons and tons and tons of free video and free resources for you. So go and get it, and anything we can do to be helpful, reach out to us. Marc Warnke, the Goat Guy, signing out.